chemical storages, and all these only piling up. Wastewater treatment facilities, so waste is basically going directly to rivers, and that means it will end up in the seas. And even the metal scrap, all that metal in form of tanks and all that military equipment which was brought to Ukraine and destroyed there, it's piling up. And someone will have to take responsibility for that. So the issues with every day, they only piling up and making the problems bigger. So we cannot be ignorant to what is going on in Ukraine, even so that it seemed 1,000 kilometers away. Also, Brazil has a very large diaspora of Ukrainians who I understand have a very tough time. So we have to put all the possible efforts to stop the war and call for the peace settlement. And of course, then it will be the Russia's responsibility to take care of the environmental, human rights crimes which they have done in Ukraine.
Ok. Comissário, a Comissão Europeia apresentou um plano para padrão econômico circular na região, ou seja, para que produtos tenham maior durabilidade e possam ser reutilizados e reciclados. Gostaria que o senhor aproveitasse para explicar esse plano e avaliar se poderia ser replicado em países como o Brasil, que tem uma tradição importante de reciclagem, por exemplo.
Absolutely. We're speaking here about the Circular Economy Action Plan, and the central piece of our Circular Economy Action Plan is Eco Design Directive. So most of the goods that serves us, how long they're going to serve, which parts are going to break, when they're going to break is usually already decided in design stage. So we needed to address a design stage where, of course, we want to ensure that goods that are placed on the EU market are more durable, that they could be repairable, refurbished, that if, for example, your device will get software updates, you would be notified that with certain software update your device will become slower and it will be harder to use, and you as a consumer would make a choice and would have a fully informed choices. Why this is important? It's important to first of all ensure that minerals, materials that are used in those devices, they would be used in economy as long as possible. That will allow to take off the pressure from the biodiversity, because we know that one of the biggest causes of biodiversity loss is actually extraction of natural resources. Secondly, of course, it also has a geopolitical reasons. We just discussed war with you, and of course it shows that dependencies on third countries, especially on countries like Russia, are extremely dangerous. So we have to ensure that we are less dependent on critical materials from the third countries. So keeping the resources longer in the economy will allow us to do that. Third, but not last, pollution. So we cannot fool ourselves that with recycling we can solve all the problems of increasing human consumption. We find ourselves in growing piles of waste, electronic waste, textiles waste, food waste, and etc. So of course we want to ensure that most of those goods are collected, that they would be recycled and then reused in a new product manufacturing. What's very important, we will include, and that will have steps approach. So from certain years, that there will be a minimal requirements for reused materials, used and used again. That will also cover, chemicals that are used. So we need to eliminate hazardous chemicals, which would allow the circularity to go on. Now, to cover up on Brazil, I think you understand from my description that it perfectly fits Brazil as well, and that can create a well-paid local jobs that are resilient to future shocks. That has a positive impact on the planet, and that helps to deal with waste management issues.
Ok. Antes de encerrar a entrevista, eu gostaria que o senhor deixasse uma mensagem para a população brasileira sobre esse tema tão importante, que é a preservação do meio ambiente.
Thank you very much. So my message is very simple. First of all, I'm pleased and honored to be in Brazil, and thank you very much for such a warm welcome. Environmental protection and protection of the beauty of Brazil does not go against the Brazil's economic interest. On contrary, it goes hand in hand, because just by preserving nature, you can have a sustainable economic growth, you can maintain higher standards and not run for the cheapest price, which usually comes with human rights abuses, with low standards, but it comes actually with a price for a population to pay. So I truly hope that we can work hand in hand to preserve the beauty of Brazil and ensure that the output of Brazilian economy is growing. And that will be the case for the whole planet.
Quero agradecer a presença do comissário do Meio Ambiente da União Europeia, Virginijus Sinkovicius. Muito obrigado, uma boa viagem pelo Brasil. I would like to thank the presence of the European Commissioner. Thank you very much and have a good trip around Brazil.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Eu quero agradecer a sua audiência, muito obrigado e até a próxima na nossa programação.
Acompanhe agora o Mundo China dessa semana, uma parceria do Band News e da CCTV, que traz para você todas as novidades do gigante asiático.
As autoridades de Beijing anunciaram no começo da semana que realizarão um teste PCR em massa em 11 de seus 16 distritos após detectar 29 casos positivos de coronavírus na última segunda-feira, à medida que a capital chinesa corre para controlar a última rodada de ressurgimento da Covid-19.
Em um esforço para conter o mais recente surto de Covid-19, Pequim realizou 3 rodadas de testes de ácido nucleico em 11 áreas da cidade entre a última terça e este sábado. A capital da China relatou 29 casos de Covid-19 transmitidos localmente em 6 distritos entre o último domingo e segunda-feira. 3,7 milhões de habitantes do distrito central de Shaoyang